Let me start now with the first speaker for the day. We have here our first speaker, Kiranavali Vidyasankar. A little bit about Kiranavali. She is an award-winning Carnatic musician with over 25 years of experience. She has started out a unique identity for herself as a performer, scholar, teacher, and writer. Her excellent pedigree and impeccable music lineage has taken her places across India, USA, and Europe. She's also been invited to present talks, demos, workshops on various topics pertaining to Carnatic music. Through her recent initiative, The Lofty Heights, Kiranavali has been reaching out to newer audiences besides help foster greater interest and awareness among students and music lovers. She's recently become the first Carnatic musician to win prestigious project and education grants from the Pew Center of Arts and Heritage in Philadelphia and the Pennsylvania Council of Arts in 2014 and 2016. We would like to know more from your experiences on why art in education, Kiranavali ji. Over to you.
Hi, good evening, everyone. So, I'm just intrigued that we are talking about a subject, we're intellectualizing a subject that is actually very innate and instinctive to all of us. The enjoyment of arts, for example, is very, very instinctive. You see little babies just automatically reacting to the arts. And we know that babies act fully on instinct. That's just pure instinct. And that itself should tell us how art has the power to touch us at a very basic, primal level. They don't understand the intricacies, but they just express their joy, they dance to it. And sometimes we have even seen videos of babies actually sometimes crying to some music that is sad. So at that level, babies are fully instinctive, and this means that art is actually touching us very deep down. And as a student, we can see, I have seen the growth of many students. I myself come from a family of musicians, and my father started teaching us music from the time we were born, so to speak. And I have seen my own deep association with the arts. And there was music in my house all the time. And I also had the privilege of learning from another great musician who even taught greats like Srimati M.S. Subbalakshmi. So, and I have seen how these artists carried their traditions forward. And what we have today is a beautiful amalgam of so many things. And as a student of music, I myself deal with students of various age groups. I have taught in India and I've taught abroad. And I have seen the various reactions. So my reaction to music, can be said to be both instinctive and taught. So it was a combination of education with instinctive understanding of it. And when I taught in India, I taught individual students and I taught at some institutions. And somehow the cultural relevance of it seemed to be taken for granted. But then I got married and I suddenly had to move to the United States. And this is where it was a bit of a challenge, I must say. And sometimes it continues to be a challenge. The challenge is that now you are in a completely different land. The kids born there, even though I largely deal with kids who are Indians, who have Indian parents, the problem is that they are not in the same cultural environment. Everything around them is alien to what we take for granted. For example, the sounds on the streets, the sound from temples, like unconsciously on TV, even if we don't consciously watch TV, we are exposed to shlokas, we are exposed to some religious stuff, we are exposed to music, we are exposed to music of so many different genres. all these are not there. So what we instinctively pick up, the language, the relevance, cultural relevance of something, all these things, what we take for granted is completely absent there. So everything has to be built brick by brick. And I've seen a lot of parents struggle with this and to bring some relevance. So this is where a teacher's role also changes. So I have seen people come to me who don't have any necessary background or interest in classical music, for example. They listen to music, but it could be Bollywood music or some film genre. But classical music is a very different ball game, and people come to me just so that they can have that cultural connection with their motherland. And initially, I used to wonder why am I doing this? I should only be teaching very talented students. But then I realized this is actually a very important role I can play in helping many students get closer to our culture and see the riches of our culture, the musical richness, the richness of thought, the richness of value systems, and the music itself. So, so I have seen that as a very young student, a kid, definitely the young students react instinctively. Then as they get to teenage, I see that kids find Carnatic music extremely intellectually fulfilling. It challenges them at so many levels. For example, when they come to a classroom, today we allow students to record, and I definitely allow it because I feel that at least that will help them keep listening to it at home like they would if they were in India, for example. But when we learnt music, we learnt it completely in the oral tradition, like a proper gurukulam where a teacher would sing, we would immediately grasp. And we would immediately memorize and sing it back within a few minutes. So in real time, we were learning. Today, we replace it with technology, which is still helping because it provides that they can learn at their own time. And so the grasping power needs to be very strong. So for a student of any subject, grasping is important, retention is very, very important. And then there comes a point when you have to be very disciplined about how you approach it. And in Carnatic music, there is discipline in the music, while there is also creativity. So the two sides of your brain is perfectly challenged, and you're required to use both of them. So the discipline where the intellect is challenged at various levels, you have to know, you have to carry a lot of data about a raga, you have to carry a lot of data about a song, you have to know the song, you have to know the tala, and you have to slowly understand the raga at such a deep level that you will be able to use it in various creative outlets. For example, we have the raga alap, which is so different from singing kalpana swarams or singing niraval, which is taking up the line of a song and singing it in various ways. And then there is mathematical challenges. So there are so many ways in which you can be creative, and these creative outlets provide their own challenge. Then I have students who come at a little later stage in their life, and the reaction to music at this point starts getting deeper. So it's not just intellectual, you're not like only looking for excitement and intellectual stimulation, but you're matured out of that, and you're also now looking at the emotive appeal all over again, but with the more awareness. And this grows and grows as you age. And I have students who have quit in their teenage because of school and college pressures, and a lot of people definitely need to settle down in their lives, and then they come back probably in their
1
40s.
minute.
Okay. They come back in their 40s, and their need to relate to the arts at this point is very different because many of them are seeking a more spiritual connect with their culture, their music, their religion, so many things. And definitely art forms provide all this. So it definitely caters to the intellectual, emotional, spiritual, and so many different things. And I see so many housewives who just need that time off from a very stressful day, taking care of other people's needs, but that half an hour or 1 hour is just for them to, relax and enjoy, and it's very meditative for them. So it's very important that we keep arts as a daily part of our routine, because it definitely gives different levels of fulfillment to the humans. And I feel that if everybody has it in their lives, we'll have a much more fulfilled society, happier society, and a more disciplined and empathetic society. And this will definitely help the world in a big way.
Thank you very much. Wonderfully said. Yes, cultural environments do impact the instinctive understanding of music, and music generally develops the intellectual and creative abilities of our brain. Thank you very much for your excerpts.